Have you ever seen the 2002 documentary that Rick Seebeck did for WQED called Sandwiches That You Will Like? You can find the whole thing on YouTube these days, and honestly, it was one of the inspirations for my sandwich journey. After seeing that documentary, my wife Mindy and I drove to St. Louis to try a St. Paul sandwich, and then to Louisville to try a hot brown. Just about every location in the hour-long feature is either on my bucket list or already crossed off of it. Except I'd forgotten that about halfway through the doc, they visit an Isley's in the Pittsburgh area, which is local to WQED, and talk a little bit about the chipped chopped ham that they're famous for. Isley's is, or was I suppose, no, let's say it still is, a sort of chain of ice cream shops and or delis around the Pittsburgh area, but there used to be much more to the story. Starting as an immigrant dairy farm in eastern Ohio in the 1830s, Isley's eventually expanded to a chain of ice cream shops across the Pittsburgh market in the 1930s and became a staple of Pittsburgh life for the middle section of the 20th century. Isley's invented the Klondike Bar. Isley's was the home of the skyscraper cone. Isley's was where you stopped for a snack after a movie or night on the town. You can still buy Isley's ice cream products, chopped ham and barbecue sauces at supermarkets all around eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. But as for the Isley's locations themselves, at one point there were about 100 of them in the Pittsburgh area. They're down to only 3 now, so I'd better get cracking if I want to get to the spot they mentioned in the doc, which is on Perry Highway across from a county courthouse. In the show, they mentioned a sandwich they called the Slammer, featuring their chopped ham shaved super thin, or chipped, which makes it chipped chopped ham, browned on a griddle with cooked onions and American cheese and served in a soft house-made bun. But what most people do with the chipped chopped ham is mix it with a mild barbecue sauce made from ketchup, vinegar, brown sugar, and water, and serve it just like that in a toasted bun. Oh, probably some people will put pickle relisher in there or another condiment, but it's unnecessary. The star here is the thinly shaved ham, which is not remarkable but salty and juicy and tender, swimming in a mix of this mild tomatoey sauce and its own rendered juices. I tried both the Yellow Label Original Isley sauce and the Red Label Spicy version, and while I liked the spicy a bit better, all it really did was add some cayenne pepper to a sauce that is mostly just getting out of the ham's way. But if you must gild this lily, you could do what Shane Spiel, he of the cigar box guitars himself, told me was his family favorite growing up in western Pennsylvania. He told me barbecue sauce was for rich people. He and his mixed their chipped chopped ham with plain old ketchup and served it on squishy sliced white bread instead of toasted hamburger buns. And if he wanted to make it fancy, he'd add some plain potato chips. A struggle meal? We'd call it that these days, I guess. But to plenty of people who are my age or Shane's and grew up in western PA, these sandwiches taste like pure nostalgia.